Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam, and welcome to my tarot channel. This month, we're going to go into the astrological tarot scopes for November 2023, and I'm going to go through all the astrological signs, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces. And so, if you want to get to your message really quickly, there are these convenient little timestamps at the bottom of your screen, of which you can quickly go to the relevant information you're looking for. And also, if you're looking for an even more accurate reading, you might also want to listen to the tarot message for both your moon sign and your astrological rising sign as well. So, without further ado, let's go into the astrological tarot scopes for November 2023. So, first, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aries. So, if you're an Aries or have a lot of Aries in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November. And the first card we see here is the Two of Cups reversed. Now, upright or reversed, the Two of Cups is a card of partnerships and also relationships. But even more importantly, it's a card of compromise. And when it comes up reversed, it can indicate that there's some challenges that are going on with you and another individual that you're needing to sort out through compromise or through consensus. The lion head that's normally at the top of the card when the card is reversed is now at the bottom of it. And for me, that lion head can represent ego. And so, Aries, it's so important this next month that you're listening instead of just reacting. And you might also need to just watch out for your ego getting triggered by other people. Don't feel like you have to prove that you're the right one or get the last word when the Two of Cups comes up reversed. Instead, really strive to let everybody leave the table with their dignity intact. The Two of Cups reverse can indicate that it's time to bring harmony through compromise, and you might not get everything that you want, and yet that is going to be the way forward. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're an Aries for this next month of November, is the Ace of Swords, which is a card of triumph by force, taking charge. The Ace of Swords, like all aces in the tarot, can indicate that a new beginning is being forged in your own life at this time. And it's telling you to really take action on something. You may have to cooperate with other people with that Two of Cups reverse to get what you're wanting. It may not be just something that you can autocratically do with that Ace of Swords. And yet, I feel like taking action, especially with building consensus or getting cooperation, is going to be what really leads toward a huge breakthrough. Also, the Ace of Swords is just telling you to be confident in what you're doing and to stay focused on what that goal is. The Ace of Swords reminds you that when you act, you win. And if you're passive and you're just hoping and wishing and waiting for things to get better, you're going to lose. But what I also feel with that Two of Cups reversed is that if you take action on coming to a consensus or a compromise with others, that's what's really going to let you win. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Taurus. So, if you're a Taurus or have a lot of Taurus in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November 2023. And we get the Hermit card for Taurus. And the Hermit is an old man with a cane walking over a bunch of snow. So, he's not moving very fast. And there's this old saying, never rush a Taurus. I really feel that's appropriate for the month of November for you. It's okay to take things slow. The Hermit is all about finding out what's ahead by taking your time. And it may feel like you're going through the dark this next month, Taurus. You can't see everything, it's not all available to you. You just have this little lantern of your inner wisdom that's guiding your path, and it's only illuminating the next several feet in front of you, the next step to take. But that's all that you do need, because if you do take the steps that are apparent to you right now, the next steps are going to be revealed as well. So the Hermit is just telling you to inch your way toward coming out of this period of darkness or confusion. Also, the Hermit can just indicate that it's time to get by yourself, to spend some time in solitude, and to find your inner peace and inner calm again. This is going to equip you with everything that you need to get over the obstacles that are in front of you. The second card for Taurus is going to be advice from your inner wisdom for November. And we got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Now, the Knight of Pentacles reversed can indicate that you really need to manage your expectations. Not only the expectations you have on yourself, but also with how quickly something's going to happen. Both the Hermit card, who's moving slowly, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed have something in common. and that the Knight of Pentacles upright or reversed is the only knight in the tarot who's on a horse that isn't moving very fast. It, in fact, isn't moving at all. And so this can indicate a delay, a pause, taking a time out. And if you're really eager to see things move quickly this next month, you might be frustrated. I feel like the bread is baking in the oven for Taurus. And if you try to eat it right now, it's not going to taste very good. So it's best for you to divert your attention to something that you can make progress with while you're waiting for that stuck part of your life to finally defrost. And I think that that is going to be happening for you, but it might be more toward the beginning of this next year. And so, Taurus, just take your time, breathe, go slow. And also, Knight of Pentacles reverse can also indicate that the details matter at this time. Spend this extra time where things are delayed to really pay attention to what the details are and what needs to come to the fore. That's going to lead to your solution. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini or have a lot of Gemini in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November. And we got the Seven of Swords. And a lot of people who read cards look at this card and they freak out. They see a thief and they don't like it. It looks sneaky. But for me, with tarot, you always have to look a little closer at what's actually happening here. And from my perspective, it looks like there is a thief who's stealing some swords, but he's stealing them from an army camp. There's this invading army. It's gone into his homeland, and they're deciding how they're going to divvy up his territory. And this one man cannot fight the whole army, but he can outwit them. So he's sneaking into their camp. He's stealing away their weapons. He's thereby defeating the army without ever having to fight. And so for you, Gemini, this next month of November, it might feel like some of the odds are stacked against you. You might feel overwhelmed, like you're addressing your own invading army, and yet you're more clever than the challenge at hand. It might be a time to think smarter and not work harder. This is also a card of strategy and coming up with a plan that's really going to work for you to get over the obstacle. The Seven of Swords does depict an obstacle. It is a challenger card, but if you use your wits, you're going to find your way around it. And so focus on solutions, focus on your plan, focus on strategy. That's going to help you overcome the challenge. Second card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Gemini. And we actually get the Four of Cups. And on the Four of Cups, we see a figure who's kind of shut down. His body language is showing he's closed off. His arms are crossed. His legs are crossed. He's blocking the energy. And right in front of his nose is this, hand coming out of a cloud offering him a miracle. And yet he can't see it. He's so focused on worrying about his problems, he can't see the forest for the trees. So for you, Gemini, again, it feels like this next month does have its challenges, and you can get paralyzed if you get too much into your feelings about it, or you start to feel stuck, or you close yourself off to the solution that's right in front of your nose. The hand coming out of the cloud can also represent angelic help, invisible hands that are sort of helping you move forward. And even if you aren't a believer in something outside of you metaphysically, that hand coming out of the cloud can also just represent your inner wisdom, your higher self, which is going to guide you. It's going to provide you with the solution. And so I just feel like tuning into where the solution is by letting your best aspect of yourself handle the problem, not the scared or stressed or worried or mad part of yourself handle the problem, but instead the best self, the wisest self. If you let that self take the lead, you are going to get over all your challenges and you're going to be able to receive the blessing that's enfolded in them. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Cancer. So if you're a Cancer or have a lot of Cancer in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November 2023. And we got the Four of Pentacles, which shows the miser clutching the four coins so tightly. And yet, when we zoom in on the miser's face, he's actually miserable. The Four of Pentacles is a burdensome card. It can indicate, Cancer, that you're really worried about your security, and your first inclination is to grasp onto it and hold on tight to everything as it was, even if it's not even making you happy anymore. The Four of Pentacles could say that the month of November for you is going to be a time of reassessment where you're asking yourself, what am I fighting so hard to preserve here? And is this thing even making me happy? If it feels like something's become burdensome for you, this could be a time where you're starting to release some of that energy. And that fear of lack or scarcity or not being secure in some way can be a motivating factor to hold on tightly to stuff that just doesn't serve you anymore. But when I see the Four of Pentacles, I really feel like it's going to be so healing for you if you release, if you let go. It's like letting go of the rope and tug of war and just letting the opposition fall on their back. I feel like it's so important that you're not struggling so much this next month. Also, the Four of Pentacles can just indicate that you're more secure than you think you are. So, watch out for, again, your fear motivating how you're feeling about your present circumstances. The next card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Cancer for November. And we got the Ten of Wands reversed. And this card can say that you're just crossing a finish line, but you feel exhausted, depleted. There's just been a lot on your shoulders. I feel with both Four of Pentacles and Ten of Wands reversed that this month of November, it's so important that you're unplugging, Cancer, that you're taking a breather, that you're also giving yourself care and love and support. It just looks like a lot's been on your shoulders, and there's just been all this tension building up. And so, releasing that sometimes, putting down those burdens, that's the message of the Ten of Wands reversed. Instead of just powering through and pushing yourself mercilessly, this might be a time instead when you're really listening to what you're needing at this time. And it might also just be a time when you're being heard a little bit more or asking others to hear you. I just feel like a little bit more care, self love, and sensitivity is going to go a long way for you, Cancer, this next month. And so it's just important that you're giving yourself what you need. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Leo. So if you're a Leo or have a lot of Leo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November. And we got the Star reversed. Now, the star, it shows a woman who's balancing her energy. She's pouring some of the water from the universal pool on the dry land next to her to let her mundane life flourish, to focus on what the practical matters are. But she's also pouring some of that water back into the universal pool to replenish her source. And so, star reversed for you, Leo, can indicate that there might be an imbalance of energy. You might be required this time to really put a lot of stress or time or focus in something that's causing your life to feel a bit lopsided. So, for example, if you're so focused on what's going on in the material world around you and accomplishing your goals and checking them off the list, you might be neglecting the needs of your inner spirit. You might not be actually giving yourself the care that you need. And likewise, as well, conversely, if you're so focused on the spiritual and you're getting a little woo woo and you're starting to get out of touch with reality and forgetting to pay your bills on time and all of that, this might be a time when you're really getting grounded a bit more. The star reversed is saying it's time to seek balance. Something is excessive in your life right now, and it's taking up all the oxygen. And also, the star upright or reversed is a symbol of transcendence. And it's just amazing what can happen when you get a little perspective, when you take a step back from your life and take a breather. You can come back to it and really reassess in a more empowered way. Second card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Leo for November. And we got the Emperor card, which says that this is going to be a time where your inner wisdom is saying to act, to take action. The Emperor is also the archetype of not only assertive energy, but putting down boundaries, taking responsibility for your own realm, and taking control of your own life. The Emperor is the father of the tarot, and he can represent that inner maturity that's really needed at this time, where you're doing the mature thing, you're doing the thing that is the most practical. The Emperor isn't concerned with his comfort and how lackadaisical he can be and how he can just release everything. The Emperor is often concerned with what needs to be done, what must be done. And yet, when we couple that message of the Emperor with the star reversed, it is important that you're coming up for air sometimes. So I just feel for Leo, there's a lot that you're doing, a lot that you're needing to focus on. It's going to lead to great worldly success. And yet, there's also a need to tend to your inner needs right now and to slow down and to breathe and to give yourself some sensitivity as well. So just kind of keep a mindset of balance this next month. A lot of energy is required of you, but it's important that you're kind of maintaining your inner equilibrium as you're going through it. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Virgo. So, if you're a Virgo or have a lot of Virgo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for this next month of November. And the first card we see is the Six of Swords. And there's a lot of change cards in the tarot, but for me, the Six of Swords is the most benevolent change card. It shows the refugees in a boat. They're leaving the rough waters behind them and they're sailing toward the smooth waters. There's a sense of serenity and also surrender in this card. And I feel for you, Virgo, that where it's best to place your focus is on where the energy seems to be flowing. You don't want to fight the river, you will lose. Instead, you want to go with the current, you want to go with the flow. If you look up the Six of Swords online or in a tarot book, a lot of times the meaning of the card is going to focus on moving. And sometimes that move is literal, like changing residence, but sometimes it's also metaphorical. It can be a symbol for some sort of time where you're moving on from one emotional phase to the next. And I just feel for you, Virgo, that change is in the air. And it's so important that you're cooperating with that change. That's what's really going to lead towards your breakthrough. And if there is an opportunity for travel, movement, progress, and even a new residence, this card is a really nice validating card to say that that's the direction you want to go into. That's what's going to replenish your source. The second card we're going to go into is advice from your inner wisdom for Virgo. And we get the Ace of Cups. And all aces in the tarot are good to get. But in the case of the Ace of Cups, it really does call you to fall in love with your life again, to feel joy. The Ace of Cups is a card of rebirth and renewal and replenishment. The cup's overflowing and it's refilling the pond below. Also, that theme of water in both cards, the Six of Swords and the Ace of Cups, seems important to me. Water in the tarot can often symbolize your emotions and your feelings. And not only are you being told to just cooperate with where the current of your feelings is going, I feel like the current of your feelings is leading toward love, transcendence, and rebirth. Also, the Ace of Cups is associated with being in touch with your spirit. There's a dove coming out of the heavens in communion with the chalice below. So this could be a time to plug into your own spirit, Virgo, and to really give yourself what you need at this time. Either way, I feel like November may be a time for Virgo of replenishment and feeling like you're giving back to your source. It also feels like a month where you're making some pretty significant progress with something that might have felt stuck before now. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Libra. So if you're a Libra or have a lot of Libra in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November 2023. We got the Knight of Swords. And we can see the knight here racing ahead on his horse. He's thrashing it and he's yelling, go, go, go. And the horse is looking up at him like, I'm exhausted. If you keep pushing me this hard, I'm going to collapse. The knight can sometimes represent the cruel taskmaster within your own head, Libra, and the horse can represent your physical body. You might be unrelentingly pushing yourself to the limit. And it's important when the Knight of Swords comes up to stop and breathe and pay attention to what you're doing. Also, the Knight of Swords is so in focus on his goal. He's just targeting it. He's just racing toward it that he's not really paying attention to who he's running over or how they might be feeling. And so I think for you, Libra, this next month of November, it's so important that you have some self-awareness for how your behavior might be affecting other people. You might also want to be a bit more compassionate or listen to those that are around you. But I just feel like this aggressive energy needs to slow down. It might be also just a month where you do take stock of what has been running your life, what's been really pushing you so harshly. And it might be a time to put some limits or limitations on that thing to restore your equilibrium. Advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Libra or have a lot of Libra in your chart for this month of November, is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is the card of the past in the tarot. It can sometimes come up when it's time to finish a past project. It's time to go back to something that you might have missed from the past and complete it. It's also a card of closure or bringing closure to the past. It's a card of reminiscing and memory, and not all of it is negative. Sometimes the Six of Cups is really calling you toward something in the past that really provided great healing for you that you might have forgotten about up until now. I feel with this Knight of Swords who's racing ahead on the horse and juxtaposing that against that Six of Cups, which is about looking back and reflecting, is just the medicine that's needed here, Libra. It might be an important time this November to take stock of where you've been. And also, knowing that journey of where you've been is really going to help you navigate where to go next and to find out where you will go. And so I just feel like taking it slow, really looking at the past for evidence for what makes you happiest or most powerful or most striking, and really reintegrating that into your personality is going to be so helpful. And then finally, time with family or loved ones could be really important too. You might need to get out of your head, out of your projects, out of the things that you're really working on, and really remember those who do love you that are around you right now and give them time and energy and space. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Scorpio. So, if you're a Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November. And we get the Knight of Wands reversed. And when the Knight of Wands comes up reversed, he can indicate that there's a restless energy for you. You're wanting to get going, seeing something change, but it can also indicate that there's some confusion as to where exactly to go or what that change actually is. This card can sometimes indicate inner angst or frustration or something that you're just feeling like you need to get out of your system. And I feel like using your energy to your advantage is going to be so helpful when this card appears. Sometimes this card asks you to exercise more or to get active or to get your energy grounded into some sort of tangible project. So it's not just bottled up here. But I just feel like there is a sense that the old ways of doing things, the old and familiar places, are causing you to be a little bit stir crazy. Knight of Wands reverse can also indicate a desire for travel or movement and an exposure to something that's new, different, or foreign. And so I just think it's important for you to get out of the humdrum, the same old cycles, and put yourself in some circumstances or situations that are going to challenge you to grow in some way. Second card for Scorpio is going to be advice from your inner wisdom for this next month of November. And we got the Two of Swords. And overarching some of that angst that's being talked about with that Knight of Wands reversed is the sense that you're in the in between, Scorpio. On the Two of Swords, we see a figure who's in between the sky and the sea, the new moon and the full moon. She's balanced between the two swords, and she doesn't see what's coming next because she's blindfolded. And yet she's centered, she's calm and serene. And so, this is a card of maintaining your balance and equilibrium, Scorpio, with that part of your life that's in between. That's kind of a big question mark. Also, I just kind of feel like with this anxiety or anxious energy of the Knight of Wands reversed, it's so important that you're turning inward and you're really listening to that inner calm, that inner wisdom, your intuition, which is going to guide you forward. I just feel like just stay calm and carry on this next month of November and just find some way to ground that restless energy, whether it's through physical movement or through some sort of activity or even just grounding that energy in a project. It's so important that it's not getting bottled up. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Sagittarius. So, if you're a Sagittarius or have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November. And we got the Judgment card. And the angel of judgment blows the trumpet, and all the dead awaken. They are reborn and renewed. When I look at the Judgment card, I think of the legendary phoenix that rises out of the ashes. And so, too, for you, Sagittarius, November is going to be a month of your rebirth. There is a sense of wind in your sails, renewal. It's also a sense of replenishment when we see the Judgment card. The dead that are rising out of the graves can represent the dead parts of yourself that might be stirring back to life. And these parts of yourself could resemble old projects that were shelved or old goals that you really wanted to go toward but couldn't because of whatever reason. This might be a time when you're starting to breathe some new life into those things. Judgment is also a card of awakening. The trumpet blast snaps you out of the illusion of just slogging through life in a daydream and instead places your focus on a rebirth or a renewal. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Sagittarius, is the Page of Swords reversed. And this card can sometimes say that for this next month of November, you might need to really watch your words, how you're communicating, not just with your words, but also with your body language. This card can cut you to the quick, and it can be a little bit of a sharp tongued sort of card. And so I think it's so important for you, Sagittarius, to just moderate what you're saying. Yeah, there's a sense of awakening and movement and energy with that judgment card, but there's also a sense that you need to be careful with how you're motivating others around you. You may not want to be so direct that it hurts when we see the Page of Swords reversed. And also, Page of Swords reversed can just indicate some people that might be around you that are a little bit more deflective, unaccountable, or frustrating to deal with. Again, it's just telling you with that judgment card to maintain your higher self and your interactions with those people so that they don't bring your energy level down after it's just reawakened. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Capricorn. So, if you're a Capricorn or have a lot of Capricorn in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November 2023. And we get the Queen of Wands reversed. And oftentimes, the Queen of Wands upright, she represents what we all want to be: confident, self assured. And when the Queen of Wands comes up reversed, sometimes she can represent a feeling of insecurity with a part of ourself. The Queen of Wands reverse can say that you're forgetting what makes you shine, or you might be so bogged down by some external worries or concerns that you're forgetting what really does make you radiate that charismatic energy. I feel with Queen of Wands reversed as well, as the actress of the tarot, the Queen of Wands reversed tells you to fake it until you make it sometimes. Sometimes you may not be feeling great about what you're doing. Sometimes the energy might feel just a little bit more low or insecure, or you might even be struggling with some sort of anxiety. And yet the Queen of Wands is telling you to put a smile on anyway, to do it to the best of your ability, and to persevere by taking action. I feel if you get too stuck in your feelings with this Queen of Wands reverse, Capricorn, you could get in your own way by getting in your head. And instead, what you're really being called to do is to smile, show up, be your best self, put your best foot forward, and take action on your life, even if you don't feel 100% secure about what might be going on. Second card for Capricorn is going to be advice from your inner wisdom. And we get the King of Swords. And the King of Swords, out of all the figures in the tarot for me, he's one of the most rigid. He's kind of stuck on his throne there, which is decorated with butterflies, normally a symbol of change and transformation, and yet they're frozen in stone. He's got a grim expression on his face, and he seems really entrenched in his position. I feel that with that Queen of Wands reversed, whatever might be making you feel insecure could be a person or a situation or organization that's very rigid. There's certain rules to follow. There isn't a lot of wiggle room. And this may cause you to doubt yourself. And yet, with the King of Swords, he can change if he can be persuaded through reason or logic. I feel for you in the month of November, Capricorn, it's important for reason to take the lead. It might be a time to allow your uncommon amount of common sense to be the thing that guides you the most this next month. But I also feel like if you're trying to make change with other people, persuading them, or trying to even make change in an organization or an institution, it's so important that you're taking a practical or logical approach. And also that you are kind of bringing forth your best bluff. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aquarius. So if you're Aquarius or have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November 2023. And we get the Chariot card. And for me, this card encapsulates the old saying, fortune favors the bold. The charioteer is leaving the walled city behind him. He's going out into the world, and he's led by the two sphinxes, which are the creatures of mystery in ancient Egypt. And so this could be a time for you, Aquarius, where it feels like the mystery is pulling you forward. It might also be a time when you're leaving behind your own metaphorical walled city and you're going out into the world and accomplishing great things by taking action on them. I just feel like something's pulling you forward and you really want to listen to that. This is a card of movement and progress. And I just feel like action is going to be the thing that really helps you achieve what you're trying to do. This is a card of confidence as well. So even if it feels like you don't have guarantees right now, you're walking into the unknown, I feel like putting one foot in front of the other for this next month is going to lead you towards your objective. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're an Aquarius for the month of November, is the Queen of Swords, who's a very Aquarian card in the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. She's very airy. She's logical. She wears the butterfly crown, which means she's a master at transforming the energy from feeling victimized by something to feeling victorious over it. The Queen of Swords has this lovely ability to switch off her feelings when she needs to and to really think smarter so that she can overcome any obstacle that's in her way. I feel for you, Aquarius, that this is going to be a month where if you step into your leadership, you're going to really see some major breakthroughs happen for you. It's also a time to be very reasoned and logical and practical as we're going through this next month, too, whenever we see the Queen of Swords. Overall, for you, Aquarius, I'm just kind of feeling that this is going to be a time when your logic is going to be displayed at its best ability, and that you really want to place your focus on taking charge of the situation instead of feeling driven around by it. And finally, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Pisces. So if you're a Pisces or have a lot of Pisces in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for November. And we get the Six of Pentacles, which for me is a card of angels unaware. It's a card of benefactors as well, people that just appear on your path and help you out in some way. And you don't know exactly where that help came from or why it's there, and yet it's offering you that support. On this card, we can see the merchant who's handing some coins to the poor, and he knows he's never going to get that money back, but the scales that he's holding with his other hand are a symbol for the karmic balance. And he knows that by giving of himself, he's going to get something back far greater in the long run. And so too for you, Pisces. This might be a month where you're really allowing yourself to give the best of yourself to others. It might be a time to really look into their eyes and see the sacredness that's within them. It might also just be a time where you're not only giving great things to other people to help them along and cultivating good karma for you, but also it might be a month where it's time to receive the good things that are being offered. The Six of Pentacles is always a card of generosity, care, and support. So if you do need that helping hand, don't be afraid to ask for it. And then finally, we got the advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Pisces for this next month. And we got the Strength card. And the woman on the Strength card in the white gown symbolizes your higher self. And she's taming the lion below her. And the lion represents the things in your life that feel out of control, that could consume you if they were just left unchecked. And I just feel for you, Pisces, this next month, it's so important that you're taking control of that all consuming thing. The lion is different for everybody. For some people, the lion is their fear. For other people, it's their anger or their ego or their rage at what might have happened before. And yet that higher self, the woman on the card, is taming the lion. She's reining in that energy so that it doesn't run her. And I just feel for you too, Pisces, this next month, self-control is going to be so important, where you're really moderating your responses to things. You might also be dealing with your own inner lion that you're learning to tame. And it's going to be accomplished through daily practical steps, good choices that you're making every day that are going to help reinforce the goal that you're working toward in your own life. Always when the Strength card comes up, it says that you're stronger than the challenge in front of you. And you need to stay strong by allowing your higher self to take the lead. And that was this month's Tarotscope for every astrological sign. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not like and subscribe to my channel? And also share the video with a friend. It really helps the channel grow and it gets tarot out in a more empowering way to more people. If you like my approach to tarot, which is not based on fear, doom, gloom, or dread, and instead is focused on personal empowerment, you're absolutely going to love my books, Fearless Tarot, and also Tarot in Love, which focuses on relationship readings. These are both available on Amazon and anywhere books are sold and are from Llewellyn Books. I do hope that you have a wonderful month of November and you do take good care of yourselves. I will see you again here next month for the December Tarotscope. So do take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again next time.